News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Wednesday. The DeWitt County Board last week took up discussion regarding the future of its zoning office. Local authorities are promoting Thanksgiving weekend safety. Of course, Wednesday night, this evening, one of the biggest party nights of the year. We hear from Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers in news this morning. That Thanksgiving weather outlook is looking awfully cold, possibly wet. Details coming up with the National Weather Service in Lincoln. And the University of Illinois Extension talks Thanksgiving meal preparation safety as well. Those things all next in news. We stream to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. For the past few months, the DeWitt County Board's Land Use Committee has been leading the discussion on the future of the zoning office. DeWitt County Administrator Dee Dee Rentmeister is planning to step away from those responsibilities. Board Chair Dan Matthews indicates the conversation is about how to proceed with who will lead that office.
Dee Dee Rentmeister has been our interim zoning administrator for the past couple of years, and she's done a great job, filling that role. But she's ready to relinquish those duties, and so we're looking for a new zoning officer. We've got a couple of applications in. I think the Land Use Committee has done one or two interviews. So we're trying to get someone to, I don't know if that's going to be a full-time or part-time position. We need to find some continuity to keep someone in that position while we look to hire so that we can take care of any zoning issues that come up. We know there's some additional solar projects coming to the county that people are going to be calling about, asking about, potentially putting in special use permit requests for.
According to Matthews, the board seems split on whether to allow Dee Dee to step aside without someone in the office or whether to continue to ask her to execute the duties of the office until they find someone.
So we need to have some continuity in that area. So we kind of went back and forth on, do we relinquish those Dee Dee's duties now, or do we keep her on in that position? Hopefully, in my opinion, is to keep her in that position until we get someone hired, trained. She has a ton of experience in zoning, especially knowing our county so well. Mm-hmm. So we have some differing opinions on how to do that transition, and it's still a debate on how we're going to do that. First, we've got to find the candidate. We've got to find the right candidate to fill that job. And so one thing I did put on there, though, she also has a role with the ZBA. So whether Dee Dee stays on and as a zoning administrator for the next few days, few weeks, months, that she will continue to support the ZBA at their meetings. So that was an appointment that was on there. Even though she's currently doing that now, just in case something changes with zoning, she'll still be the secretary for the ZBA so they can continue to do their good business, responsibilities as well.
While a little bit of turnover in the EMA office has taken place in the last few years, the county is on a trajectory to give young people a chance to cut their teeth in a small market before moving on to a bigger market. Matthews believes that may be a direction for DeWitt County in its zoning office.
It could be someone that wants to get some experience, be able to go through some, like everyone today, every county is seeing, solar ordinances and, solar projects, wind projects. They would get some experience in those that they could then, if they wanted to move on to maybe a full-time position in a larger county, or maybe we find that is a full-time position here because of these other types of projects that we keep seeing talked about coming to the county. So I'm hoping we can get, some good people to interview, and find the right person and then we'll figure out, if it is the right person, they've got the experience that we need to handle all this for us, that, maybe it is a full-time job and not just a part-time position, as there's just a lot to do now around the zoning responsibilities.
For DeWitt County, it is hard to compare its zoning officer's duties and job description with other counties because Matthews notes it seems that they all do something different.
That's a good question, Seth. We've done some research to see, and we find that in some counties, even much larger counties, they split duties, part-time zoning and then have some other responsibilities within the county. Others are similar-sized counties have a full-time person, and then larger counties who have, multiple people within that area. So it is a tough one. It's a tough one to understand, who can fill that role. What other responsibilities could we give them so that, I'd much rather have somebody full-time so that we're not limited when someone calls the office, oh, they're not open today. They're only open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, people like to do business every day of the week, right? So we need to be available. And we can't just, put those duties on the days off of the zoning officer. Some other department is going to answer because they're not going to have the knowledge to do that. So that's still being explored. And that is where, again, some of the people on the board have a very strong opinion about it. Others think, well, I think we could just get by with part-time. But it's really, to me, it's just finding the right person that's going to know the ordinances, know the rules and laws and regulations, and be able to deliver so that, we really service both the DeWitt County residents and those others that want to come to DeWitt County.
Matthews also points out there has been some interest in the job in the short time it's been advertised, as the Land Use Committee will take up a few interviews starting next month. Ushering in Thanksgiving is one of the biggest nights of the year for bars across the country. It's become known as Blackout Wednesday, says Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers, who is hoping those planning to be out tonight will be extra cautious, drive safely, and get a ride home if needed.
Yes, Thanksgiving coming up. We always talk this time of year, we always talk about holiday travel. We talk about the festivities and the celebrations that occur. A new buzzword that we've begun hearing the last few years is Blackout Wednesday. What that signifies, I'm not really supportive of course, but Blackout Wednesday referring to the parties and celebrations that occur the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Oftentimes the first time that college students have gone off to college this fall, and it's the first time they come back to their hometown and gather with their high school friends and celebrate,
It's all about making good choices, says the chief.
Can often lead to big celebrations. Blackout Wednesday refers to binge drinking and heavy partying the night before Thanksgiving. I can tell you that it seems like over the last decade or so, Blackout Wednesday has become one of the largest, biggest, widespread party nights of the year. I mean, even challenging New Year's Eve, With that, we just ask you to make good choices. We talked about earlier, planning ahead, letting someone know your plans, where you're going to be, arranging for safe and sober driving, and also looking out for those friends that you intend to celebrate with. Make good choices, especially, all times, but especially around the holidays. No one wants their holiday gloomed by some type of a tragic accident or due to poor choices and poor decisions made the night before. So anyways, we know that that's a big time, a big celebration time, especially for those younger generations, young adults, to get together.
While applicable at all times, this weekend especially, Chief Flowers recommends giving loved ones a heads up where you're going and how long you will be away.
We ask that you make plans ahead of time. Certainly share that with others, family members and whatnot, what your plans are. Make arrangements for safe and sober driving, and also to be that much safer out on the roads, especially late at night. We have an increased odds of impaired driving around the holidays, and so it's not only you out on the road, it's others that you have to look out for. If you don't have to drive, please don't. Stay at home, make arrangements to stay wherever you intend to celebrate.
Right.
Now it's not only alcohol intoxication, it's cannabis and other issues as well. So nonetheless, we just ask you to celebrate responsibly, make good choices, and make sure that we keep the holidays a happy time. So
The holiday hustle and bustle will soon be here, and the chief encourages slowing down and giving yourself plenty of time to get to where you're headed.
With that, the holiday travel for all generations, obviously there'll be an increased traffic over the holiday season. College students returning, shopping, we want you to allow extra time for travel and be patient. Make sure your car's maintenance is up to date and know the numbers for roadside assistance. Plan your route ahead, and as we said, let someone know your plans and expected arrival times. Keep that cell phone charged and have a charger available to you. We are fortunate now that, in the old days when we just had to rely on someone to come up and offer us help, now oftentimes, more times than not, we do have access to contact for help through a cell phone, but make sure those cell phones are charged. And since we can't always assure that we have service in some areas, make sure that we have a winter safety kit available, including jumper cables, a first aid kit, blanket, flashlight, snack, and water. Don't drink and drive, wear your seatbelt, and put those phones down so you can give full attention to the road.
Black Friday shopping is still a very busy time, but with so much Christmas shopping having gone online, Chief Flowers says some general shopping tips we'll have for you later. Chief Flowers still has some general holiday shopping tips that we'll have for you later this week on Regional Radio. News time is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. We'll break here. More to come in news on the morning show.
Extra savings have arrived. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, this month, on top of our everyday discounts, we have extra savings when you are a friend of agriculture. All Silverados are eligible. Regular cabs, double cabs, and crew cabs in gas or diesel are in stock now. You are eligible if you work in agriculture. See our staff for details. See all our inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
News time is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. As you make your way over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house, you better bundle up and have a winter preparedness kit in your car. That's Thanksgiving weather forecast is looking awfully cold, leading up to the busiest travel day of the year. Some snow will impact the northern plains. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln told Regional Radio that snow shouldn't have much of an impact on central Illinois.
Well, you're going to see some flakes flying the night before, like Wednesday late afternoon into the evening. The rain is going to transition to some snow. There are some bands of heavier lift, stronger lift that could create snow out of the rain and give you about a half inch of wet, sloppy snow maybe. But for the most part, it probably will stay rain in the DeWitt County area. Enjoy the sunshine today. Clouds are starting to move in from the west. Little light rain showers are probably going to start greeting you in the morning tomorrow at the earliest. But for the most part, it's going to be more rainy by like midday or so, mid to like by 1 o'clock, it's probably going to be steady rain, and that's going to continue until it transitions early in the late afternoon, early evening to snow a little bit in the evening. And then moving on out of here, probably after midnight was kind of the highlight of when the snow is or rain is going to move out of here. If there is any snow, it'd be ending, the same time there. And then Thanksgiving Day actually looks good. Sunny, 38. Generally nice day. Northwest winds keeping it a little cool, but really all in all, not bad. It's just that travel day on Wednesday is going to have some precip, and that's going to make the roads a little slippery. So people kind of just be aware of that, slow it down a little, hydroplaning or even a little bit of slippery snow on the road. Just got to be careful.
According to Shimon, some cold air up north is going to shift down to the Midwest, creating some very cold air that will be here to stay for a while.
Yeah, we've got a real cold air mass that has been residing in the northern Canadian provinces and prairies, and it's just going to be allowed to shift south. There's a pretty persistent high pressure that's moving in off the west coast, so it's shoving the colder air east, and we're just going to kind of get a stagnation of that cold air. Jet stream is going to stay in a buckle across the central mid-Mississippi Valley and just stay in that position for the first week of December probably. So we're going to just to allow that cold air to take up residence and then just say hello, and winter is starting.
The cold air is going to be here for the football championship games this Friday and Saturday in Normal. We'll have more on that with Shimon later this week on Regional Radio. A local nutrition educator is promoting food safety during the Thanksgiving season. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator for the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties, told Regional Radio they get so many questions on food safety this time of year that they've created a website devoted to it.
Yeah, so we always come back to the food safety aspect of the meal, right? Of course, we want to be able to pick out nutritious foods, but for a lot of holiday meal prep, whether it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, any of these big holidays where a lot of people are going to get together and eat, we do want to talk about food safety. And so I'm going to first direct everybody to our turkey website. We get enough questions throughout this time of year on, what to do with a turkey, how to thaw it safely, how to cook it, how to do all these sorts of different things with that bird. And so we do have an entire page devoted to this online. So extension.illinois.edu/turkey will get you there. It's got a number of different recipes for side dishes, but also, again, those tips for how to thaw my bird, how to cook my bird, how to use leftovers, all that stuff.
Mellendorf states there are 4 major components to being food safe. Those are clean, separate, cook, and chill. This applies to all cooking, not just during the holidays.
We always come back to 4 general topics for food safety, regardless of what type of season it is or what type of meal. And those things are clean, separate, cook, and chill. Mm-hmm. So the cleaning is always about hand washing and making sure that as we're moving between different tasks. So if we're working on the bird and now we're going to go work on the pie, we're definitely going to have to wash our hands in between, right? If we're working with raw meat and we're going to go now work with something else, make sure that we're washing our hands regularly. Cleaning also applies to kind of in the separation step of if we're using cutting boards and knives and other tools, we're making sure to separate the tools that maybe have touched raw meat from the tools that are going to be touching the ready-to-eat foods like the gravy and the side dishes. Clean, separate, and then cook. So, right, taking temperatures, getting yourself a nice food thermometer. The pop-up button type thermometers that come built into some turkeys are an option too. But if you have a meat thermometer, use that. You can look at USDA makes, for birds in particular, makes 3 different points of entry to just temp that such a large bird like a turkey. We're going to temp it at multiple places just to make sure that all the different parts of the meat are at that correct temperature. And then the last one is chilling. So any leftovers that you have need to be put away. So I know that that's one of the challenges I see, at least in my extended family gatherings, is we have a lot of food brought in. We have a lot of food that sits out at room temperature for a long time. And some things are very much shelf stable at room temperature. There's no food safety risk, but some of the other items, unless they're being kept hot or on ice, we do want to put those leftovers away within 2 hours of them coming off of any heat. So that turkey comes out of the oven, we start the timer at 0 seconds, and then at 2 hours, we want to start putting away any leftovers on that bird. And hopefully in 2 hours, right, you've had a chance to relax, enjoy the meal, get seconds if you want it, and then you're ready to kind of pack it up and you can continue socializing and visiting with all your friends and family.
Check out the Extension's Thanksgiving Food Safety Guide at extension.illinois.edu/turkey, and we'll have more tomorrow, or this afternoon, I guess I should say, on staying food safe this holiday season. Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan, is looking at the dip in fuel prices and how driving is becoming an attractive option for holiday travelers. DeHaan notes many Americans are eager to take the road this Thanksgiving to reconnect with loved ones. He explains the flexibility and affordability of road trips have made driving the preferred choice for most travelers, despite lingering concerns about fuel costs. The nearly 70 cents 6% drop in gas prices since summer, bringing them to their lowest levels since 2021, has provided significant relief for those planning long drives. The survey also found most travelers plan to begin their journeys early Wednesday. Among respondents, 60% report they also drove during last year's Thanksgiving holiday, citing the convenience of road travel and proximity to their destinations as key factors. While road trips remain the dominant choice, 10% of Americans plan to fly, and 87% of non-travelers cited reasons like lack of plans, tight budgets, or remaining concerns over fuel prices. Most drivers expect their trips to last between 1 and 6 hours, with 2/3 traveling more than 100 miles and over half crossing state lines. Many are turning to cost-saving strategies, with 68% planning to use loyalty programs or cashback options to further reduce expenses. As the Thanksgiving holiday approaches, Gas Buddy predicts continued seasonal affordability in gas prices, easing the burden on millions hitting the road. 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Time now for a look at today's obituaries. 80-year-old Sharon K. Stevens of Clinton passed away November 22nd. A private service for 80-year-old Sharon K. Stevens will be held at the Clinton Presbyterian Church, with Reverend Paul Stroop officiating. A celebration of Sharon's life will be from 2 to 5 p.m. Sunday, December 8th at the Georgia Jill in Clinton. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with arrangements. Memorials can be directed to the Clinton Presbyterian Church. 64-year-old Francis Fran Chrysler Runyon of Clinton passed away November 22nd from complications due to multiple symptoms atrophy. Mass for 64-year-old Francis Chrysler Runyon will be Saturday, December 7th at St. John's Catholic Church in Clinton at 10:30 with Thomas Sedillick officiating. Visitation will be Friday, December 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. Memorials can be directed to St. John's Catholic Church or Second Chance Pet Adoption. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday, coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance. Local network news and sports is next.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. It is supposed to last for 2 months. A ceasefire has taken effect between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israel's deputy foreign minister warns that Israel will respond with lightning speed if Hezbollah violates the ceasefire. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor seeks an arrest warrant for the head of Myanmar's military regime, alleging the country's Rohingya Muslim minority is a victim of crimes against humanity. Saying that he did it before and will do it again, the incoming U.S. border czar, Tom Homan, is assuring National Guard troops at Eagle Pass, Texas, that President Trump will secure the southern border. Homan visited the border yesterday. He was accompanied by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures have turned mixed. The Dow futures currently up 41 points, while the NASDAQ futures are down 29. S&P futures 2 points lower. More details, srnnews.com.
Share 55.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jeremy House. In the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks waste a 22-point lead before recovering in time to beat the Miami Heat 106-103.
Damian Lillard pumped in 37 points and had 12 assists in the Bucks' fifth consecutive win. Brook Lopez chipped in 13 points and Bobby Portis 11 as Milwaukee sat out Giannis Antetokounmpo due to swelling in his left knee. Jimmy Butler paced Miami with 23 points, tying it at 96 on a layup with 4 minutes to play. Milwaukee is now 3-0 in Cup play and at 500 for the first time since Game 2 of the season.
That's correspondent Dave Ferry reporting. Other winners included Chicago, Phoenix, Houston, and San Antonio. College football, the Southeastern Conference's losses were almost everyone else's gain in the college football playoff rankings, with SMU nudging its way into the top 12 and Indiana staying in the mix at number 10. This is SRN Sports. Top 25 men's college basketball, the Kansas Jayhawks blow a 13-point first-half lead but escape with a 75-72 win over number 11 Duke.
Dewan Harris Jr. led the Jayhawks with 14 points, 10 coming in the first half. He was one of 4 Kansas players in double figures. Cooper Flagg was held to just 13 points, 11 in the second half, while Con Kneppel had 11 points but was 0 for 8 from three-point range, including missing the potential game-tying 3 at the buzzer. Kansas improves to 6-0, while Duke falls to 4-2.
That's correspondent Steve Carney reporting. Other winners included number 4 Auburn, 5th-ranked Iowa State, number 8 Kentucky, and 9th-ranked Alabama. Upset victims were number 2 UConn, 20th-ranked Texas A&M, and number 21 Creighton. And in the NHL, winners in a limited schedule were Utah and Vancouver. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. It has been the revenge tour for the ages for Monticello High School's football program. The Sages have avenged 4 losses this postseason in the Coley Welta era this year, with victories over DuQuoin, Williamsville, Benton, and just this last week over Tolono Unity. Coach Welter did not see this type of run from his team when the year started.
Honestly, my mind is lost right now. I mean, I don't know, that just happened, and then crazy. Absolutely, not to take anything away from them. No, we thought we'd be more improved from last year. We had 9 returning starters on defense. We thought we'd be strong there. We knew we had some pieces on offense, but no, not to this degree. You know, I thought we were a playoff team, and we'll see what happens from there. A little bit of redemption, you know, like we talked about with the revenge tour. We made up for 3. We lost to them in the first round, the second round, and the quarterfinals in my time here, and so I didn't really want, what do you call it, the quadrifecta? I don't know. I didn't want that in the semis, but credit to the kids. I mean, they hung in there. They didn't look good, but they hung in there.
Just like last week's win over Benton in overtime, Monticello had to grind through a slow and sluggish second-half offensive performance. Coach Welter was a little frustrated at times in its win over Unity.
I was really kind of happy with even the first drive where we got 2 first downs and we punted. We moved it okay, and then they took the lead 14-6, and we had a really nice drive down to like the 30-yard line. You know, we were moving the ball, but like you said, we weren't getting big chunks, and we had to be patient. We had to take what they were giving us. Obviously, they're a good defense. We got the running game going in the first half, but they kind of stymied us in the second half. I was very upset with us not being able to get the first down on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. That very frustrated with that, but holy cow, to get the ball, and I don't know what was the last drive. I mean, about 80 yards to score the touchdown. So. Yeah. You know, and we didn't have a whole lot of big plays on that, you know, but it wasn't pretty at times. But I mean, I'm going to be negative here, but I wish once in a while we could get a yard when we needed it, you know, sometimes. And, you know, we got just straight ISO and they stuffed us. And then, you know, you have to try to be creative to get it. And just wasn't very happy at that stage in the game. You know, this year, for the most part, we've been able to do that. But, you know, not today. So, yeah, just frustrated.
Coach Welter credits the coaches around him for believing in his players and establishing good relationships to be able to be positive during a game where they trailed for most of it against not only Monticello's biggest rival, but a team that has had its number over the years.
Well, I'm a huge believer that kids don't care what you know until they know how much you care, you know. And I don't even know if I quoted that right, but I'm a huge believer that you can get away with being tough on kids if they know you love them from the get-go. And that rapport has to be established. And it is easier if you're in the school. Some coaches are able to do it by not being in the school, but getting to see them every day in the halls and interacting with them, it's really important. And I hope, I'm old now, you know, I hope that message gets sent to our kids, because I know there's a lot of successful programs, but we never want to be just about winning games. Hopefully we're about, you know, building those relationships. And I know it sounds like clinic talk right now, but I do firmly believe that all our coaches have bought into that and have good relationships with our kids. And I think our kids are able to put up with us because of it sometimes.
Now it's off to take on Lombard Montini Catholic Friday in Normal for the state championship. Coach Welter knows his team has its work cut out for them. They hope to put up a good offensive performance against a very stout Broncos team. Game time is 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. Hear all the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Carly Anderson scored a game-high 20 points, and Clinton withstood a late rally from Athens to win 68-57 Tuesday night in non-conference high school girls basketball action from Athens High School. The Lady Maroons trailed 15-14 after one quarter, but gradually were able to pull away and pull out to a 32-27 halftime lead and a 51-36 lead after three quarters. Lila Kluver had 18 points. Clara Dempsey scored 16 to help lead Clinton. The Lady Maroons had made 9 three-pointers for the game. They improved to 3-2 overall, while Athens drops to 0-3. Clinton is back in action Monday night, hosting Tolono Unity. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Pleasant Plains made 18 field goals, with 13 being from beyond the arc as the Cardinals held off shorthanded Monticello 53-45 in non-conference season opening high school basketball action Tuesday from the Seaver Center in Monticello. Monticello led 11-6 at one point in the first quarter, but Plains went on a 10-0 run into the second quarter, fueled by the three ball to lead 27-20 at the half. The Sages chipped into the deficit, getting within 2 in the fourth quarter, but could get no closer. Plains' 13 three-pointers set a Seaver Center record for threes in a game. Senior Tyler Blythe paced Monticello with his first career double-double of 19 points and 10 rebounds. Colton Vance chipped in with 12. Gatsby Grant had 7 points and 8 rebounds. Monticello held Plains to 38% shooting. The Sages shot 50% for the game, but finished just 4 of 15 from beyond the arc. Monticello was also without 3 likely starters in Ike Young, Nolan Benny-Kemper, and Carter Foran, who are with the football squad this week preparing for Friday's state championship. Monticello drops to 0-1 overall, while Pleasant Plains goes to 1-0. The Sages are off until next Tuesday night when they host Riverton. Game time is 7 p.m. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Blue Ridge overcame a slow third quarter to get by Normal Calvary Christian Academy 73-61 in non-conference high school boys basketball season opening action Tuesday night in Normal. The Knights led 40-29 at the intermission, but Calvary rallied to go up 51-49 after three quarters. Corbin Colbert scored 9 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter to help the Knights put the game away late. Isaac Price scored 34 points to lead all scorers for Blue Ridge, while Wesley Clark chipped in with 13. Blue Ridge is 1-0 on the season. Get the latest in sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Highs around 43. Today, under cloudy skies, with mixed precipitation likely changing to all rain. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy. Tonight, chance for mixed precipitation becoming all snow. Lows level off around 30. A dusting of snow tonight.